Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, Lou.
Yeah, you might think that I got coffee in this.
What's in it?
Oh, that was the worm. Next, it's alcohol on Men Are So Smart. There are facts about alcohol that everyone believes, but they're not really true. Alcohol can be pretty awesome while consumed safely and in moderation. No one likes an obnoxious drunk. Hell, some days the only reason we get out of bed is because happy hour exists. I love a good happy hour with some munchies.
Oh,
You
that's
betcha.
the best.
Yeah, so there's a lot we won't judge. However, we will judge you for repeating a bunch of boozy misconceptions and myths. So let's clear the air, Ronnie, so we can get on with our drinking.
All right.
Number 1, tequila comes with a worm in the bottle. To many, it's not tequila until you stick a big old worm in it. No one knows why, both because it makes no sense at all and because, well, it doesn't happen.
And the worm can actually be found in mezcal.
Mezcal.
Yeah, the upstart cousin of tequila.
Yep.
The only difference, apart from the worm, is how much blue agave is in the liquor. Tequila has to be at least 51% blue agave to be called tequila. But mezcal can be made pretty much of any old stuff.
Interesting.
It didn't take Don Draper to realize such a difference. Doesn't scream brilliant marketing. So they started throwing a worm in as a gimmicky marketing tool.
Seriously?
Yeah, they wanted some way to set mezcal apart from the tequila, but the fact that you now think tequila is one with worm illustrates just how bad this idea really was. Apparently people found that the most important thing to remember wasn't the product, but how they were now drinking worm-flavored juice.
Worms pee in that.
Isn't it really a caterpillar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I've never had it, but
I have.
I've looked in the bottle and it looks like a caterpillar.
Yeah,
That's not a worm.
It's crunchy.
I don't think you're supposed to chew it. Just swallow it.
Really?
Yeah, you never went to summer camp when you ate the worm?
I guess not.
Yeah, you just swallow.
Okay, so there's another theory, check this out, that says the larva was included because it was supposed to change the taste of the mezcal. And honestly, I don't want to think about that. Sure, bugs have been used to color food for ages, but we totally draw the line at larva marinating in our liquor. Drink to forget our problems. We don't want to get distracted by other ones.
That's a whole new problem right there.
Only did it once.
I've never had that.
And you don't hallucinate.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
You get heartburn. Yeah.
From a tiny little caterpillar.
You betcha.
Okay.
Now, you know, I got to tell you, tequila, allegedly, so we don't have to get our lawyers involved.
Right.
Is good for you. Now, you know, anything in moderation.
Right.
Sure. But a little shot of tequila every day is really good. The agave cleans out a lot of the stuff out of your system. So it can be very healthy for you. Now, here's one you hear all the time. Mixing types of alcohol makes everything so much worse. You know the rhyme. You've heard this before. Liquor before beer, never fear. But beer before liquor, never sicker. It's true. Here's another one. The rhyme is a lie, a stupid rule to go by. All right, so they're correcting us. It's because science says there's no combination of beer, liquor, and wine that's going to make your hangover a million times worse than usual. When it comes to what you order, you consume your drinks in, it likely has something to do with how you drink instead of what you're drinking, because there's two major components to causing a hangover: how much you drink and how fast you drink it. Take beer and liquor. While you might be perfectly capable of knocking back a few shots of birthday cake flavored vodka, that's disgusting. You're probably not going to be doing the same to your pint of beer, unless you have problems way beyond what we want to talk about here. That means that the alcohol from the shots will hit your system faster, get you drunk faster, and you'll be going to bed feeling worse if you drink a bunch of it.
You'll also need to factor in something called congeners, which are a byproduct of fermentation that's present in higher quantities in drinks like bourbon. That's been found to make hangovers worse too. So at the end of the day, getting or dodging a hangover is much more complicated than just what you drink. Best way not to feel like death warmed over the next morning? Have that pale ale and the shot of vodka but in moderation. It's not just for your liver anymore.
It's not your father's.
Yeah.
Okay. Bottled beer is better than canned beer.
No truth to that.
Let's see what they say. Every pub or party has their own local beer. The one that just couldn't bear to be seen drinking anything out of a can. Bottles are the way to go. They'll say, probably after sniffing pretentiously at their beer, one that's named something like Frosty Leper's Eloquent Ale.
That's my favorite, by the way.
Want to tell them they're wrong? You can. All you need to do is point out that canned beer is better than beer out of a bottle. Now you're saying to yourself, why? It's not just an opinion. Just ask Ska Brewery in Colorado, a craft beer company who's gone cans all the way. According to them, it's not just easier to carry, cheaper for them, and more environmentally friendly, it's better for the beer. Pouring a skunky beer will ruin your night really quickly, and the biggest contributors to skunk beer are light, heat, and oxygen. Amber bottles might block most of the light, with clear and green bottles not even in running, but cans block all the light. They're also perfectly sealed, so there's not going to be any oxidation going on. Cans are lighter, and that means they're not just more convenient, but their lighter weight is going to help make them more environmentally friendly. Plus, since they're widely recycled, lower transportation costs are a big deal. Beer in cans. It's the way to go. And they talked about it here, but there's nothing worse than opening up a green bottle of Heineken and taking that first sip, and it tastes like skunk.
Yep.
And it's not the beer. If you drank it out of a keg, you'd find it would be much better. The same holds true for a can because of the amount of light. Take it from a beer drinker.
Different types of liquor cause different behavior patterns.
Okay, I know what this is.
So they're saying when you get drunk on beer, you're going to act different than if you get drunk on vodka.
If I get drunk on vodka, I am a mean guy. I really am.
You know the person that swears off a certain kind of liquor because they say it makes them mean. Vodka. Sad or more hungover in the morning. Science says the person is the fill of it.
Ah.
Yes.
Let's find more out.
We'll start by explaining there's actually been a couple of studies done on this because, of course, there has been.
Okay.
In 1984, rats were injected with different kinds of liquor and monitored for the development of drunken behavior. I would love to see that. While the type of liquor didn't change how they acted, there's no word on whether or not it changed how they felt, emotionally speaking wise. Another study looked at the difference in how vodka and bourbon impacted volunteers' moods, and there was no real observable, obvious difference.
Look, I don't know about you. I can't speak for you. I don't drink with rats. So the survey means nothing to me. Now, there's a couple of different explanations for why you might experience different emotions or states of drunkenness, and none involve the actual type of alcohol. One theory says that if you look at your drink of choice, you know exactly what it's going to take to get you feeling good, tipsy, and then ultimately maybe hammered. Switching things up a bit, your normal routine is gone. You might even be drinking different concentrations of liquor, and that's not going to make life easier. Another theory says that it might be the mixers you're using, and that Red Bull you're starting to mix with your vodka is going to act differently than a tonic would that you usually have with, say, your vodka or gin. When you start drinking tequila, then you might be drinking that tequila for an excuse to be a jerk. Don't do that. Don't be a jerk. Don't be that guy. Because people go, and then this happened. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Right. Well, I will tell you, my 21st birthday party, I got a bottle of Seagram 7.
My dad used to drink that.
And I used to like 7 and 7.
That's what he used to drink.
Seagrams with 7-Up. So somebody got me a bottle of it for my 21st birthday party. I was going to save that. Well, at some point during the party, a couple of my buddies started topping off my beer with Seagram 7.
Wow, you didn't know?
And I may have tasted it. I was probably about 6 beers deep by that point. And so you taste less of it at that point. But man, I got as sick as I've ever been in my life. I had just been to seen the Tubes in concert. And I had a Tubes concert t-shirt that I loved and I probably paid $30 for. Somehow I flung it off during the party, never to get it back. One of my buddies threw me over his shoulder, carried me upstairs to my apartment, put me in my bed, and emptied out my garbage can and stuck it strategically right next to the head of my bed, where I filled it several times during the course of the night. So yes, mixing for me, no bueno.
Yeah. Sometimes on a Friday, I get home from work and maybe I'll enjoy a little vodka fruit juice drink. One. And then I'll have a couple of beers after that. Just to kind of have a little enjoyable minute with a glass of vodka and some juice. That's about the extent of mixing for me. I don't go anything beyond that.
Yep.
A tequila and a beer, sure. A vodka drink and a beer, just one, no problem. When you start getting into those foo-foo drinks, that's where you run into problems. You know how you see drunk girls at parties sometimes throwing up? It's probably because they were drinking some sort of daiquiri or Mai Tai or something like that has rum and fruit, and it's too much sweets on your stomach.
The thing that kills me, a Long Island iced tea.
Oh yeah, those are delicious.
Because if they're made correctly, it tastes like iced tea.
It does indeed.
And there was one bar here, Bobby McGee's.
Sure.
They made the best Long Island iced tea I ever had.
Yeah, that was one of their specialties.
It's got 4 or 5 different kinds of liquor in it.
5.
It's very deceiving, and if you have a couple of them, you go to use the restroom, and it's like somebody removed the bones from your legs.
A little wobbly?
Yes, you're a little wobbly. So, if done correctly, yes.
Garcon, can we get a couple over here, please? A couple of Long Island teas?
Yeah, those are my kryptonite. I need to watch out for those. Next myth. Alcohol makes you warmer. Okay. And I think that you probably can. If you drink some alcohols, you can feel that warm rush right through you. So it does have a feeling of warmth. This says, as we love our dogs and we love alcohol. So, of course, dogs that bring us to alcohol, bueno. Yeah, we'd totally get stranded in a snowstorm just so we could be found by a big St. Bernard with a little flask around his neck, and no amount of debunking is going to make us change our mind. No.
Unfortunately, here comes the debunking. Alcohol only makes you feel warmer, while it's really making you colder. That bit of weirdness happens because when you drink, the alcohol opens up the blood vessels at the surface of your skin. The increased blood flow causes you to not just feel warmer, but it's why some people's faces turn red after they've popped a few. That increased blood flow has to come from somewhere, and it's being pushed out of your body's core. That means your core temperature drops while your skin feels warmer. And since alcohol also inhibits other warming behaviors like shivering, which we were doing when we got here this morning.
Yes, cold.
That brandy-bearing pup isn't doing you any favors, no matter how good his intentions might be. I remember skiing and always having, do you remember, oh, here's a term I bet you haven't heard in a while. Bota bag.
Bota bag?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever happened to those?
But I have one. There might be one hanging up in the garage here somewhere.
Well, if it's empty, it's not doing either of us any good.
And what do they serve in the ski lodge?
Peppermint schnapps.
And hot toddies.
Yeah.
You ever have a hot toddy at the ski lodge?
No, just the peppermint schnapps.
Oh, boy. They're good.
Yeah.
A bit of the hair of the dog will cure your hangover. It kind of does.
You're not going to convince me.
It kind of does.
Now, Jim Boy's tacos, that'll make or break you.
Boy, the grease.
Yeah.
I used to think the grease just soaked up the alcohol.
If it doesn't make you better, uh-oh.
You'll go the other way very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So drinking some more in the morning after to help kick a hangover is questionable wisdom that's been around since the 16th century, when it was believed that putting some literal hair from the dog who bit you into an open wound would prevent rabies. That's crazy, and drinking to get rid of a hangover is just as crazy.
That's because of how hangovers work. Symptoms appear when blood alcohol content reaches 0 again. So knocking back another tea with breakfast is just going to keep your blood alcohol content above 0. Sure, that's going to postpone symptoms a bit, but they're still going to show up unless you just keep drinking, and we can't be absolutely sure that that's a good idea. There are other factors too, and hangovers actually include things like an outraged immune system that's rushing to do damage control. Poor immune system.
It's outraged.
Add in alcohol diuretic effects and irritating effects on your tummy, and no, adding more insult to injury isn't going to help. In fact, nothing will. Maybe someday, you'll learn your lesson.
Alcohol will help you sleep.
I'm not so sure I believe that unless you're passing out.
Well, that might be. This one is so widespread, there's a name for it. A nightcap.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Popular belief says a drink will help you sleep. But while it's likely to help you fall asleep faster, problems will start about midway through the night. Once the alcohol is metabolized and the effects start to wear off, you're going to find yourself getting less REM sleep than you need to wake to feel bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We've known about this for a long time, too. As early as 1939, studies found that by monitoring the body temperature of someone who had a drink before bed, we can tell when the alcohol is worn off by the rising body temperature and increasing discomfort.
And there's other news too that's bad. Alcohol has been found to make nightmares worse and dreams more disruptive. So if you're the type that likes waking up in the middle of the night after dreaming of carnivals, clowns, and cannibals, by all means, drink up. If you're prone to things like sleepwalking, you're more likely to do that after having a drink before bed, and you're more likely to act out your dreams too. No one wants to act out their cannibal dreams.
No.
Man, that makes me hungry.
Yeah, especially your bed partner.
Yeah, she's not around anymore. She was good though with a nice Chianti. All right, wine, finally. Here, check this out. These are rumors that aren't true. Wine is often the only alcohol with health benefits. Not true. Every so often, news about the benefits of a nightly glass of wine makes the rounds on social media, and everyone shares it like they've never heard it before. That makes people who don't care for red wine feel a bit left out. And we're about to make beer drinkers feel smug indeed.
Yeah, in 2016, Pennsylvania State University released their findings based on a survey of 80,000 adults.
That's a big survey.
Probably all college students.
Probably.
Yeah, they found a daily pint or two helped improve cholesterol and also reduced the risk of heart disease and stroke. That was added into a massive list of beer benefits, including findings that indicate moderate beer consumption was linked to a decreased risk of kidney stones.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Arteriosclerosis, which is clogged arteries,
Right.
Alzheimer's, cataracts, and diabetes. And it's raised some good things too. Moderate beer drinking increased production of silicone, which leads to stronger bones. And it's also introduced a chemical called Xanadu. Yeah, xantholuol to the diet.
Y'all.
That's been shown to lower chances of something called metabolic syndrome, which includes all sorts of nasty things like high blood pressure.
Uh-oh.
It's also been suggested that beer contains chemicals that help the body halt the growth of disease and might just be the breakthrough that's needed in cancer research.
What we take from this is everything in moderation. Drink beer in moderation for good health. I should be healthy as a sailor. Also, you can now totally justify that second pint. So,
boom.
You're welcome, friends.
Yes.
So there you go. A little bit about dispelling some of the myths surrounding alcohol that we've all perpetuated throughout the years since we've grown up. We probably learned it from our parents, and then we just pass it on to our kids.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going from there.
Generation.
But now we've said it straight. Now you're straight. Drink up. We'll wait. That's good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
A nice, tasty, frothy beer. Oh, by the way, I just had a beer that I suggest that you try. I was telling Ronnie about this. It's called Guinness Blonde. I can't drink a regular Guinness. It tastes like road tar. It really does.
To me too.
It's just too much for me. I couldn't. So everybody go, oh, Guinness is the greatest thing in the world. No, it's not. Well, guess what? They've come up with this blonde ale now. And I got to tell you, I had it ice cold last night. It was freaking delicious. Freaking delicious.
Yeah.
The last beer I had that was on the same level was 805. Have you tried that yet?
No.
All the kids are doing it. You know what?
Hashtag.
Hashtag. You know what it reminds me of is back when we were growing up, Henry Weinhard.
Oh, yes.
Remember those?
Yes.
When they came on the scene?
Yeah.
It tastes a little bit like that.
All right.
So check that out. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We are way out of time. Way over time.
Oh, boy.
I hope we don't get paid by the word.
Oh, this one went long.
It did. So stuff below. Like the episode. Have a drink. And then subscribe to the channel. You'll enjoy it more.
But don't drink and drive.
No. But drink and watch YouTube.
Yes.
We recommend that.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. I'm Lou Gallagher.
I'm Corvette Ronnie.
Bye for Men Are So Smart.
Bye.